I sing this man's praises all the time because he's one of my favorite guests. He's also good people. T.J. Jefferson, you were one of those oddly constructed Clipper/Sixer fans because you adopted the Clippers here because your East Coast values forbade you essentially to root for the Lakers.
Can't do it.
But you're a diehard Sixer fan from your days in Altoona, right? Correct?
Yes, indeed.
I basically have set it all up. So this man is now in charge, essentially, of all basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers, former general manager of the Houston Rockets, good friend of the program, Daryl Morey, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hi, Daryl.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh, come on, man. All the time. Anytime. You know that. Is it true you just came back from picking up Dwight Howard at the airport, Daryl? Is that true?
That is accurate. Yeah, that was awesome. Reunited, man.
Okay, so just in general, pre-pandemic, are you one of those people that picks people up at the airports, friends? That's in your nature, right? Are you one of those people?
Yeah, it's a nice touch. It's a nice touch. So, yeah, Elton Brand and I went out to greet him, especially because we worked together for 3 years. So,
right.
Had a nice conference final run with him. So, it's good to get a recent champion. It's pretty cool.
Now, obviously, you are what we would call an insider since you're the guy who's making these deals. But for all of us taking all of this in on Twitter, he tweeted out that he was going back to the Lakers and then deleted it. What was your end of things on that front, Daryl?
Might be better to ask him, but it seemed like there was some miscommunication, which, unfortunately can happen in free agency. There was none from us, though. We were trying to get him to come here the whole time, and I think there was some miscommunication on a higher dollar situation with them, and but we're happy it worked out with us.
So was that one of those things where somebody on your team or just showed you a phone and said, "Hey, Dwight says he's going to the Lakers," and you were kind of calling somebody up to say, "Is this true?" I mean, what was that from your end of things?
Well, we were in constant conversations with the agent. We just checked in with the agent and made sure that the report was true, and he said no, that was not true. So different things happen in free agency. There are deals canceled, there are trades canceled. So it gets a little wild and hairy during those times. Lots of deals happening, and they're all verbal, and as you saw with some deals in the past where people were trapped in houses,
yes,
until it's signed on the dotted line. I think free agency can get a little crazy.
Yeah, you're not driving around knocking on doors, huh?
Didn't need to. It was nice just with the past relationship with Dwight, and we had always kept it really positive, and the perfect fit. I'm so happy for him. He won his ring last year, and this year, we got. I was about to mention the guy in trade I can't mention, but anyway, we got potentially two champions coming, two recent champions coming, and I was really happy for Dwight that he won that ring, and he's looking to do it here in Philly next year.
So you're referring to somebody that you made a trade, an acquisition, but it's not
some of them
official?
aren't official right now. He caught me on a slightly not all official yet.
Well, when does that become official? I know who you're referring to.
I mean, there might be a trade down the line. I think it's like December 8th or something like that. Just because of the rules, things take a little longer to unfold.
Okay. But T.J. Jefferson, our Sixer fan who's here, he's talking about Danny Green, okay? It's not somebody that hasn't yet been reported, and I don't want to get this man in any more trouble.
So it's not Anthony Davis, is what
No, stop it. Stop
TJ,
it.
I'm glad we have the Sixer fan.
Oh, yes.
Quietly influencing Rich. It's great.
Well, look, I mean, the reported deals then, Horford for Green and Terrence Ferguson and Josh Richardson for Curry, and then obviously what you just did.
Richardson for Curry I can talk about.
You can talk about. Okay.
We're real excited for Seth to join the team. Obviously, arguably the best shooter in the NBA, and those are pretty hard to get. And we were just thrilled, and obviously Doc's son-in-law, which is sort of a cool twist, and so just overall a really fun addition with Seth.
Now, in terms of these moves, Daryl, I mean, is this part of when you were talking to ownership about whether this was a match for you? to come aboard, and for them, whether you were a match for them, et cetera. Is this all part of like, hey, look, this is what I want to do in terms of trading this guy to get this off the books, and we're going to try and target that guy. Now, obviously, you have to have, the execution of it go your way, and so on and so forth. But is this all like part of what you planned coming in, and this is the plan coming together, A-team style, in a way?
Yeah, not really. The stuff with the Sixers was a whirlwind after I stepped down, similar to Doc. I mean, Doc and Elton and ownership were, very. It was cool. I mean, they reached out immediately and were aggressive, and but yeah, because you don't really know what trades are possible when you're, interviewing like 2 days after, a couple days after you step down. Yeah, there isn't really. It would be very presumptive to know what a roster would need, and you also don't know what trades are coming. So, no, that was really about track record. I had worked with Doc before. Obviously, had some success in Houston, and that was really more about that than anything planned on the roster.
So, when you stepped down, you had no plans to go take another gig anywhere?
I mean, I was hopeful that someone would call, but I thought it was going to take at least a year because, it was so close to the season. Usually these kinds of transition happen quite a bit before the draft. The draft was only a few days away, and so I just figured I'd be sitting out at least a year and then evaluating options. So it was pretty cool that a couple NBA teams, NFL team, a baseball team, a couple places reached out. So that was, Rich, because you've made transitions. Sometimes you just don't know, right? You hope that there's something out there, but you don't know. So
okay, Daryl, you had me at NFL team. What are you talking about? An NFL team reached out to you?
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah, it was sort of. I told them I probably don't know enough. I'll be honest, Rich. You and I have talked about this. That I think the NFL. I mean, it would be very presumptive for me to think I could help an NFL team, but they did reach out, and I just figure my skills are just much higher and better in the NBA, just with the experience and everything. But it was an intriguing idea. So.
Well, for what role? To be a general manager and run a team? That was the role?
Yeah, that would have been it. Yeah.
Wow. For an NFL team, did that even make you?
I mean, to be fair to them, they didn't offer it. They just reached out to talk.
Just to see what's going.
So they could have met with me, said that guy's an idiot, and moved on.
No, I hear you. So, but just to say, hey, maybe you could bring now. Then let me ask you this. I'm going to totally go off the reservation here on you, Daryl.
Sure.
Since you mentioned a baseball team, what'd you think of the move of the Tampa Bay Rays and Kevin Cash removing Blake Snell? Purely on what appeared to be analytics. What did you think about that maneuver?
I mean, I feel like I did work in baseball, so baseball would have been a better fit, although honestly there's so many well-run teams. I was intimidated that I could actually help a baseball team. Last time I worked in baseball was 1996. So, but, yeah, so I didn't really dive into that. I would say if their plan was to handle things a certain way, and the plan was, and that plan was still relevant, so close to winning the title or not. I mean, I generally stick to the plan. I actually had a funny moment here at the Sixers before the draft, the day of the draft, actually, and we had put together our pick list. And one of the staff members here, who I'm getting to know, was like, "So what do you do on draft day? Do you follow your pick list?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, do you follow the list that we've put together?" I was like, what do other people do? I was like, why do we put all this work into it if we don't follow it? He's like, oh, this team I worked at, we had all that, but then he just ignored it and did whatever on the day. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to be what we do. So, if that's their plan, they should stick to what got them there. That would be my sense.
Well, I mean, again, and you're a perfect person to ask about this since you are so closely, tied at the hip about with analytics in the 21st century and how it plays into wins and losses. But the concept of essentially being so married to it that a gut and a feel moment from your management team on the field actually adjudicating the game and your plan that just goes out the window.
Yeah, I mean, Rich, I don't want to oversimplify, but let's say you're in blackjack and you're not counting cards, even though that's the right thing to do, and you just get a gut feel after 4 drinks that this is going to be the time I need to hit on 16 and hope for a 5. Yeah, no, you don't do it. You don't hit. So, I think if they, Tampa Bay, as far as I know, is one of the best run baseball teams in Major League Baseball. I think that's pretty clear. And if they looked at it and they thought that that was the right choice, I would be really surprised if they didn't follow it. If they didn't follow their plan, they don't get to the World Series and get criticized. I'd rather get to the World Series, get criticized for following the plan, than deviate from the plan and lose earlier.
Daryl Morey, president of basketball operations of the Philadelphia 76ers, here on the Rich Eisen Show. If I had told you that you would at one point try and finish the process that Sam Hinkie started, what would you have said to me?
It just was not on the list of things I would have guessed would happen. But I'm thrilled. Obviously, we directly or indirectly have Joel and Ben because of that approach, and I'm eternally grateful. Normally, as you know, Rich, it's the coaches who get nailed, and everyone says, "Hey, do this rebuilding, and you'll be there at the end." It's usually the coaches who suffer from that. In this case, it was the GM, and I'm here benefiting from it, so I'm pretty happy we have Joel and Ben right now.
Okay, and these are your 2 guys. Is there any thought at all of breaking these 2 guys up to bring in maybe a superstar that you think would fit the process better?
No, as I think Sam recently said very well, someone asked him that. He emerged from his groundhog hole to talk. That's every 3 years Sam emerges to talk, and he said, "Man, we put so much into getting Joel and Ben here. Why would we move on ever?"
So you think they can play together? Because that's
Absolutely.
been the big. Okay.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that? How does that work?
Well, just recent evidence. When you put shooting around Ben and Joel, they were literally the best lineup in the league. And I'm not talking they played 50 minutes together. They were playing thousands of minutes together with shooting, and we're the best lineup in the league. Now, of course, we've got to prove that that this group can do it, and that that this group is good enough to win the title. We have to prove that. But for sure, in the past, when you had shooting around those 2, it worked very effectively.
How much more should we expect of your additions or subtractions from this roster between now and ball tip on the 22nd of December?
Not much. I mean, again, and I talked about this in my opening presser, that I think, there's some things when you look at the roster, you say maybe we need to do some slightly different things, maybe. But with Doc coaching this group, and he loves it and is comfortable with where we're at, there's just going to be a lot of learning, especially at the start of the season. And if we use our bullets, whether it be our tax mid-level or draft picks, to address what we think the gaps are, we could use our bullets early when later we're gonna see where the gaps are much more. They'll be much clearer, and we'll be able to address them that way. So, I don't see many changes from here till tip.
Couple of minutes left with Daryl Morey, president of basketball operations of the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's talking purely hypothetical. Let's just say a team that that you used to be part of had 2 superstar players that you put together on that team, and then after your departure and the coach's departure, they reportedly didn't want to play there anymore. Would that hypothetical situation surprise you in any way, shape, or form, Daryl?
Let's talk about other hypothetical situations,
Well, I didn't say one of. I didn't say one of them.
Until Trump concedes or something.
I didn't want to. Say one of them had a long beard or anything like that. I just wanted to just throw that out to you, Daryl.
Yeah, let's talk about what TJ wants to talk about. What do you got, TJ?
All right, you got a question?
I do have a question.
Okay, you always ask good questions before we send Daryl out the door.
Hey, Daryl, how you doing, man? Welcome to Philly.
What's up, man?
So, question: you are president of basketball ops, and Elton Brand is the GM. I'm just kind of wondering how you 2 work together and what that synergy is like with those 2 positions.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole group, including Elton and I, just got thrown into the deep end, and hopefully we're doing all right. So that'll evolve over time, but I think one reason that I think there's now 5 or 6 teams, with former Houston Rockets folks running them. I give a lot of responsibility to the people around me, and Elton's going to have a lot of that, and I have a lot of faith in him. And the fact that he wanted to join forces with me is still something I'll always remember. And it's great. I'm excited. So he's going to be doing a lot of the calls, a lot of the analysis, and we're going to be working together with. He actually brought in a couple other guys that are really strong, and Prosper and Peter Dinwiddie, and it's a strong group. I think I learned pretty quickly this is a group we can work with.
I love Doc too, man.
That's
you
awesome.
guys got a great setup there, Daryl.
Doc as well. Yeah, I
mean,
think he was
please.
talking front office, but yeah, Doc is just a treasure that I get to work with him again.
Top-notch people there, man. Top notch. And Daryl, I'm out here on the West Coast. So
Josh Harris and David Blitzer credit. I mean, they were like, we're doing this, so that's pretty cool.
So, Daryl, I guess, does Elton sit shotgun and you drive to the airport, or how does that work?
Just because I don't drive, you know that, right?
What? I didn't know that. You do not drive, Daryl? Are you serious?
Not really, yeah. Just, I'm on my phone too much, and I'm just too dangerous. So I've decided for
safety
humanity,
first.
I don't drive very much.
Look, you just refuse to be hands-free is basically what you're saying. You just refuse, you're hands-on but hands-free.
I just refuse to endanger people. That's my
You're a good man. Daryl, I'm so excited that you're in a great spot. You seem to be in a great spot with some great talent and a fan base that is thirsty, to say the least. So thanks for the call. Really appreciate it. Truly appreciate it.
Thanks, TJ. Appreciate the time.
You got it.
Thanks.
You take care. That's Daryl Morey, everybody, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. The good man, president of basketball operations, Philadelphia 76ers. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.